Awesome. I think we're recording and I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Elena, let me know. You can be my co-host. If you see any issues with anything, just let me know. And I'm going to go ahead and get started here. Can everyone see my screen? Awesome. I'm going to hide the tiles to just myself. Maybe let's see if I can do speaker view. Oh goodness, I don't know. I don't know if I have that option, but it's okay. I'll just put the tiles back. But okay, we'll go ahead and get started. And it looks like we're recording and all good to go. So please utilize the chat function if you guys have any questions as I go along. And we're going to go ahead and get started to honor y'all's time. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. If I do not know you personally, my name is Kelly Petrovich, and I am a wife and a working mama from home on this mission to inspire healthy living around the world. It's been a 7-year journey, and I'm going to share my story here in just a few, but I am a first-time mom. Our little boy is almost 9 months old. His name is Trey. And I'm so grateful for the information that I'll be sharing with you tonight because it really came into my life at really God's perfect timing. 7 years pre-pregnancy. We just had him this last year, and I'm so grateful for the tools and resources that our communities provided and really learning this simple education, how powerful it is when you make one simple change. So we'll go ahead and get started. Let's see, there we go. Okay, so I'm going to start with a little bit of the bad news. I think it is, always kind of good to be aware of the current statistics. And I'm sure when we look at this list, we can think of some loved ones that either may be experiencing this, because it's unfortunately pretty common here in America. 1 in 4 people will die of heart disease. That's the #1 killer. The second #1 killer is cancer. 1 in 2 women and 1 in 3 men will develop cancer in their lifetime. 1 in 3 currently have diabetes I know that runs in our family by 2050, and 1 in 5 children are currently obese. And that's the Journal of Pediatrics published in 2016. It's really sad. And when we think about this quote here, Dr. David Katz says that our children today are more harmed by poor diet than exposure to drugs, alcohol, and tobacco combined. And that's a really bold statement, but when you think about poor diet and children, that's a big passion of mine now being a mom, but it all starts from our pregnancy, right? So that's a pretty bold statement, but we're seeing that over and over again. And really there's 2 trends in the world that are happening that can also contribute to a lot of this, is that environmental toxins are increasing. And that's a number of different things. So from pollution in our air, water contaminants, pesticides, prescriptions, over-the-counter drugs, chemicals, just all in our environment. You can read that list there. That's increasing. So environment makes a big difference when it comes to our health. And the second trend is that our food quality, which food is healing, that's decreasing. So more than 50% of what Americans eat is processed. And it was, because a lot of these things in our food that are preservatives, flavor enhancers, emulsifiers, synthetic vitamins, growth hormones, all of artificial colors, a lot of that was designed by the food industry, and it's not real food, right? It's crazy. And it was designed to make us crave it, to make it be addicting. And really it's sad because there's so much money tied to sickness, right? So if we're healthy, I mean, there's just we can go down the rabbit hole, but to keep it simple, this one's a big one, food quality decreasing, because broccoli today could lose 50 to 80% of key nutrients before you even purchase it. So that was published in the Guardian magazine in 2001, that our food is less nutrient dense and it's filled with a bunch of different things. So those 2 trends really contribute and can be a huge impact, make a big impact on our health. So what can we do, right? Like, do our best, God does the rest. That is a little mantra we say in our family, and really doing our best. It comes from these 6 things. These are 6 foundational wellness things of foundational wellness to be well on, as much as we can with our control, is exercising. And that can literally be walking. It can be a movement, every day, just something that you're not, that you enjoy. It doesn't have to be rigorous. Actually, I just learned this. It takes 200 muscles to take 1 single step forward. Crazy. So walking is powerful. Sleeping 7 to 8 hours a night, obviously that's different in different seasons. I feel like Trey's finally now sleeping through the night last couple months. So, but that's important. That's when our hormones are doing what they're supposed to be doing. That's our body really heals when we sleep. Managing stress. That's a big one. Managing stress is a really important when it comes to our health. Drinking water. So half of our body weight in ounces every single day. And that one, honestly, when I worked in my field, my background's public health, that was, and I did health coaching. That was the number one change I talked to people about. No matter what they did, I said, well, how can you do better about drinking water? Because chronic dehydration, it can affect digestion and migraines and so many different things. So drinking water and that being your number one drink in the household is a simple change that makes a big difference. Using safer products, just kind of seeing what you can ditch and switch, and then eating raw, real food. I always say God's plants, like if he put it here on this earth, then we're supposed to eat it, right? So that's what we're going to focus on tonight is fruits and vegetables, really the importance of that in our diet, because when you look at all of those, we can be physically fit, but nutritionally starving. We can be, doing all those other things, but really food is the one that makes a huge impact. And that experts agree the most diseases that we see in that first slide I shared can be prevented through good nutrition. And so oxidative stress, if you've never heard that word, it's the light bulb moment I had 7 years ago when I heard this information. That the bad news is, there's oxidative stress. It causes aging and disease. Oxidative stress on an apple is the browning and aging. The lemon juice, if you were to squeeze lemon juice on an apple, that is that antioxidant that neutralizes that oxidative stress at the cellular level. So the same thing is happening in our body every single day is this oxidation. And when you exercise, this oxidation actually increases. So yes, something as good as exercising increases this oxidative stress. Pregnancy increases the oxidative stress. So these are good things. So when we're physically into exercise a lot, we're an athlete or you're pregnant, you need even double the amount of servings of fruits and vegetables to really neutralize that oxidative stress happening at the cellular level. So like skin cells, like wrinkles on your skin, that's oxidative stress on your skin cells. So maybe put in the chat if you've never heard of that before. I know for me, that was a huge light bulb moment. Like learning that was powerful, knowing that antioxidants really, that's the definition of that word. And so that's why the news isn't that fruits and vegetables are good for you. It's that they're so good for you. They could literally save your life. And a diversity of plants, not just having your same 5 to 10 that most of us love and know how to eat and our kids like, but really that rainbow of color is so important. So this is the current recommendation today is 7 to 13 servings. So servings the size of your fist, 7 to 13 of that every single day, which that can seem so overwhelming. So, this information tonight, if it's new to you, show yourself grace and know that we all start somewhere. I know really learning this for me, I was so inspired, like, okay, how can it almost made it a game. And even today, like life is busy, life is crazy. I don't even achieve that every day, but I do my best. And why so many? Produce is picked before it's nutritionally developed. So it's picked early, it's picked green, it's shipped thousands of miles. So by the time that we get it, it's not as nutrient dense. So we need even more to make up that difference. And again, like I mentioned, we don't get enough of the variety of the rainbow. So when you think about our diet, most Americans, 70% of them are trying to fill the gaps with a multivitamin. We've been taught that since we were kids. I'm a 90s kid. We took our Flintstone vitamins and all the things that, we didn't know. And now research is showing that a multivitamin has very few isolated nutrients. Okay. So they've been picked from the original source. So let's just take an apple, for example. It has approximately 10,000 phytonutrients. So these are the plant nutrients that are working in synergy together in an actual living food. Okay, so beets has its own list, kale has its own list, parsley, all the fruits and vegetables has its own phytonutrient ingredient list. And so when vitamin C then is, Elena raised her hand. Yes, Elena, I don't know.
Sorry, there's a couple people saying they need you to admit them. It should pop up I think right at the top.
I just did, sorry.
No, it's all good.
Okay. I'm going to make you a co-host, Elena, so you can, just in case I miss it again. This is great. This is like class, like raise your hand. um, okay. So, you know, when you look at the 2 ingredient list, the one on the left is a supplement facts label. So that is a multivitamin label. Okay. Vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin D. When you look at the right side, an ingredient label from food, that's the natural source. So when vitamin C is taken out of the apple, so away from all those friends, counterparts that it needs to really communicate well to your cells, it's then mega dosed and put into a traditional multivitamin tablet. So at that point, your body's like, I don't really understand what this is. You know, let me collect some toxins in the liver and then pee out the rest. Okay, so long-term research is showing that isolated fragmented vitamins, vitamin this, vitamin that, vitamin this for my hair, vitamin whatever, long-term can do more harm than good. And that was published in Annals of Internal Medicine in December 2013. So a lot of these journals that I'm sharing with you are little, you know, it's from years ago, but I feel like left and right today, we're really hearing a lot of this. It seems like the trend, but it's really been around for so long, right? Eat the rainbow. So that's when we learned about Juice Plus. When I learned about this education, it blew my mind because, again, when you know better, you do better. And I had no idea the power of whole food. My background's in public health, and I'll share a little bit more about my story in a second. But when I heard about Juice Plus, it literally reminded me of Jetsons food. I don't know if you've ever watched the Jetsons, but I'm like, there is literally science and technology now to concentrate nutrition, to put it into powder. And Dr. Santillo, the creator of Juice Plus, who partnered with our company when Juice Plus was born 27 years ago, so it's been around, he was juice drying for his dad who was dying of cancer to give him extra nutrition. And so it was a brilliant idea to our CEO and founder. And that's when Juice Plus was born 27 years ago. And it's just a simple way to add in 30 fruits, vegetables, and berries to your diet every single day. So really bridging the gap and prevention. You know, we brush our teeth every single day. Why? Because we don't want cavities. We don't feel it taking cavities away, but we still do it. And so when it comes to like taking our Juice Plus and bridging that gap in our diet, it's the same thing. And it's the whole food that's harvested at the peak of ripeness. So making sure the nutrition's intact. So it's vine ripened. That produce is then pulverized and not juice, but basically ground up and dried into powders at low temperature so that it preserves the nutrition. The plant powders are then put into capsules or delicious chewables. And then there's also a full spectrum omega blend that I'll share a little bit more about in a second. So I'll share my story really quick. And my journey started as, 7 years ago, but really when I was a kid. So growing up, we were the typical 90s kids, ate a lot of processed food. But my mom still cooked dinner at night. So we always had a home cooked meal, but there was a lot of things that as I got older, I started to experience a lot of anxiety in middle school, which then landed me on a medication. I took it all the way through high school, all the way into my early college years. And I actually increased my dose around that time. I got sick all the time. That seemed to be my normal. Every 3 to 4 months, I got sick, which would then I'd go get an antibiotic, which then began the cycle. I feel like a lot of this was just my normal, and I laid down almost every single day for a nap. Now I do enjoy naps, but I literally felt like I needed them 7 years ago. I just didn't have the energy. I was in school full time. My background's in public health, and I was starting to learn this in school, and I was starting to make some changes, like adding in more water. But really the reality was banana out the door and fast food for lunch, and possibly fast food for dinner when I got off from my shift, because I worked at the restaurant about 5 times a week. And so all of these things I just thought were normal, and they may be common, but they're not normal. When I soon realized that food could possibly be the answer, getting in more fruits and vegetables to my diet. My best friend shared Juice Plus with me. We worked at the restaurant together, and I was naturally skeptical. I told her, I was like, oh, I take a multivitamin. I'm okay. Thank you. And she lovingly still educated me and still loves me and met me where I was. I'm grateful she never gave up on me, because now looking back, when I got started, it was that catalyst for change. I got started and I noticed that I was sleeping better and I had more energy. My hair started to grow. A couple months into my journey, I added in our delicious shake mix, which became my breakfast because I used to skip it all the time, which was a big, big one in helping heal my gut, which then anxiety was so much less. And that it was when I got so excited. And I remember thinking, like, everyone needs to know about this. We all know fruits and vegetables are good for us, but we don't really know why. And I love this education. We don't really know how many we need. And I love that Juice Plus, that's their mission, to help educate on that. And oh, by the way, here's a simple tool to make health easier. For me, this was the simple change that became really like the door opener to my health journey. And then being surrounded by the community, so much education, so much as far as learning, well, why cut out inflammatory foods? Why add in more fruits and vegetables? Like, all of that really got me so excited that I partnered with the company to again, bless the people in my life with this. And so fast forward now, I graduate college. This was 3 years ago. I graduated college and I, again, got excited. And at that point, I was sharing with so many people in my life that it became the option financially that I could, instead of 1 foot in for 3 years, I was able to put 2 feet in. And I just looked at my life ahead, thinking, what if in 5 years, when we have babies, I could maybe stay home, but still have something of my own and really be a vehicle to still live out my passion, bless other people with this message and gift, but also contribute financially. And so it's been 7 years. And now, having my baby, I took it as my sole prenatal nutrition. And we kept, again, just really working this around our busy life and our busy schedules. And I just celebrated, my 7-year business anniversary back in May. So last month, and looking at this journey, it's like God put it right into my life. Really, before I would appreciate it. I always say I took Juice Plus for granted for all these years, and even my business took it for granted because people really need this message. And I'm reminded time and time again as I hear stories that what a gift this nutrition, but also this community offers for people to learn and also earn as they learn. So I'll share a little bit more about that as well at the end. But that is my story in a nutshell, and really having Juice Plus as my tool in my toolbox when it comes to my health. I think about Trey and how healthy he is, and really that season of my life, I was the healthiest I was during all that, but being able to take it as my sole prenatal nutrition. He got 30 different plant foods every single day, no matter what the day looked like, because in pregnancy, you're, especially that first trimester, you don't feel good and you're eating like probably not enough nutrition, right? But Juice Plus really was that simple change through that season, adding in the capsules every single day. He got that flooding of all these different plant foods. So I love that there's elderberry in here. There's cabbage in the veggie blend. There's kale, spinach, things that I don't typically get on a daily basis. So it really is that gap filler. And again, whoever invited you tonight, you can of course ask them a little bit more about it. But really about the ingredient list, I'm not going to show you that tonight, but these are the fruits and vegetables that are in them. And that's it. There is an added probiotic, Lactobacillus acidophilus, which is a very common probiotic strain in the fruit and veggie blend. But for the most part, it's literally concentrated fruits and vegetables that you see on this list. And it's a very significant source of folate for pregnant women. And then of course, it was my nutrition in postpartum, and he's now 8 months, and we put it in his food, which is so fun. Okay, so 10 years ago, they realized after some more research, that the company has a very narrow focused product line, and you'll see that tonight. It's just a few products. 10 years ago, they did a survey and they realized the next gap in the American diet, especially the customers of Juice Plus, is omegas, and they're just as important. So omega fatty acids support a number of health benefits, especially heart, brain, joint, skin, and eyes. And I'm so grateful I got to take this through my pregnancy, but even postpartum depression, actually postpartum depression, I was really worried about that, it being a big part of my story. And praise God, between our, my tools, nutrition, as Juice Plus, my community, I did not go through that. I, of course, had the normal blues and everything, but I really believe that omega stores are so depleted during that time, but I had the best of the best, fueling my cells and just that time. I am so grateful. It's priceless to us. So this omega blend is incredible. It's literally the true source. So not the fish. They cut out the middleman and go right to the source, which is the algae. I don't know if anyone knew that, but I didn't until they put this out a couple years back. But it has been one of our #1 selling products, really sustainable for our, I don't know if you guys have seen Seaspiracy, but very sustainable because they're not over farming fish just to get, all these pounds of fish for a very few amount of ounces of fish oil. Okay, so it's plant-based, it's pure and sustainable. It's a full spectrum too. So omega-3, 5, 6, 7, and 9. So full spectrum, a little bit of every one of those omegas. And then it's a vegan capsule and cold press. So fish oils are heat press technology, and that heat starts to oxidize, there's that word again, oxidize the oil. Okay, so these are cold press technology, and that way the oils aren't harmed, aren't oxidized. And again, we're obsessed. And a lot of moms will poke a hole into the omega and squeeze it in like a raspberry and pop it in the kid's mouth. My sister Elena, her little boy who's got teeth, he'll just, and same with the capsules, he'll just chew on the capsules, just pop the omega right into his mouth as well. And it's so safe for them too. The complete shake, a big part of my story with anxiety, with getting in a healthy meal because I was constantly eating out all the time. The complete shake was a game changer because it's got 8 grams of prebiotic fiber. And so all of that was starting to feed my gut health. And I remember my cravings being so much better and just anxiety so much less. These were a game changer. I loved having the complete shake on the go in college, and then, in postpartum, just in so many seasons in the last 7 years, the shake has been a game changer and really a staple in our household. And it's very unique compared to other shake mixes out there. Just a little homework. If you want to if you do have a shake mix at your home, look to see how much fiber's in it. The Complete's the first vegan shake mix that I've ever seen with that much fiber. It's low glycemic, so it stabilizes the blood sugar, and that's how you're going to make healthier choices throughout the day. Is if you start your day with a low glycemic meal, fiber rich, because then you're going to make choices better throughout the day. Or around 3 o'clock when we're trying to grab for like something sweet, the Complete shake's a great snack as well. And it's got a great sprout profile. So broccoli sprouts, radish sprouts, alfalfa sprouts. That I'm reading that broccoli sprouts today is kind of like it's amazing how a forward-thinking Juice Plus the company is, because this has been in the Complete. Elderberry's been in the berry blend, but a lot of people are talking about broccoli sprouts and how anti-cancer they are, and just so beneficial for you. And it's got water washed soy, rice, pea protein. So a nice protein blend, not just one source of protein, and then mushrooms for vitamin D. And that's a whole food form of vitamin D. So this might be a little dramatic. On the left, what you may eat; on the right, what you should eat, right? There is 80-20 in our household. However, when you think about what you may eat, these kind of foods, they should just be treats. They shouldn't be like an everyday thing or a big part of your diet. But if it is right now, that's okay. Heathen to the vegan. I always say Juice Plus is for everyone, no matter where you're at. But really looking at the left, that's the traditional American diet, right? Not a lot of color. So what you should be eating on the right, like getting in that rainbow, and then Juice Plus really filling in the gaps and being that safety net for your family. So, okay, there's so many things out there. There's greens powders, there's shakes, there's all the things. This is what really stood out when I first started learning about Juice Plus, when my friend shared it with me 7 years ago. And this is what got me so excited and felt confident that I can share it with my most precious people in my life. So number one, it's food. We said the case in the beginning that we need food. We're not vitamin deficient, multivitamin deficient, we're whole food deficient. So it's a whole food supplement with a food label, non-GMO ingredients, vegan, kosher, and dairy and gluten-free. And then the second thing is that it's NSF certified. So this was so exciting for me, especially through pregnancy and sharing as a business with my pregnant friends and these seasons of their life. That is so special, especially also someone going through chemo. This means that it's extremely pure and safe, and there's no stimulants, herbs, mold, yeast, bacteria, herbicides, pesticides, anything that's harmful. NSF searches for that and tests stringently multiple different times, so that you can be so rest assured that Juice Plus is very safe. And also this means that if kale's on the label, kale's in the product, not a green filler powder. So that is super important because we're giving this to our kids, okay? And again, pregnancy and someone maybe going through chemo, it's safe from womb to tomb. The third thing is that it's the most researched and brand name nutritional product in the world. You can actually ask Siri that and she'll tell you Juice Plus. It's really cool. Ask her when we get off the call, what is the most researched nutritional product in the world? She'll let you know. And that's because we've had over 35 peer-reviewed published clinical studies. And so this was another reason why I got very excited about sharing this with my friends and family, because this is what really blew me away. I was with my background in public health, when I learned about the importance of peer-reviewed research, I could not believe that literally Juice Plus had this body of research, and original research too. Not that, oh, vitamin C has research, so Juice Plus has research. No, Juice Plus has been studied in the human body, multiple, different ages and populations. And really, really neat what they found. And I just want to say too, like, when it comes to Juice Plus, it's not about treating specific conditions or diseases. It's really just helpful plant-based nutrition, highly concentrated and supported by over 20 years of independent research. And so for my people that are research buffs, I just love learning. And when I really started to dive into this, it got me so excited. But the biggest thing you want to know is that it's gold standard research. It's randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled. So they give, groups the placebo and then the fruit and veggie blend and the berry blend. Like, it's really neat when you start to dive into this. It's tested on the product itself in humans, not test tubes or lab rats. And then it's published in peer-reviewed journals. University of Florida here in Florida, University of there's so many, if you think about it here, looking at this list, Texas MD Anderson Cancer Center, again, you can pull up this list with whoever invited you tonight to look at it some more. And really, because of that research, it's attracted thousands of doctors and physicians. There's actually a few here in Jacksonville. There's a pediatrician that recommends Juice Plus out of her practice here, but all over. And I love what Dr. Richard DuBois says here is that there's nothing else available any place in the world with or without a prescription that has been clinically proven to do what Juice Plus has been proven to do. So when you look at this list, the biggest one that stands out to me is the bottom right, where it says absorbed by the body. So it's actually getting into the bloodstream, reducing that oxidative stress, helping maintain healthy DNA. So as mama takes Juice Plus through her pregnancy, she's able to pass down repaired, healthier DNA to their baby. Okay, that's literally changing future generations. And we could sit here all night and I'll tell you all the pregnancy stories over the last 7 years. Like, you could cry. It's absolutely beautiful. Supporting the immune system, huge over this last year. And then of course, so many others. I love inflammatory response, reducing that inflammation. So really, really exciting. I get so pumped up when it comes to the research. But another thing that we do as a company is we offer Juice Plus for free for children at the ages 4 all the way through full-time college student with an adult purchase. And they just ask them to take it for a year consistently and fill out occasional surveys. And my favorite is 61% were actually eating more fruits and vegetables. And honestly, that's not just kids. That was me. Like, people see me today and they're like, oh, you eat so healthy. And I'm like, well, I've come a long way. Like, you should, and we're not perfect, but really you start to crave the healthier, fresher things. And we've seen that in kids. And I love that actually is reflected on the Healthy Starts for Families program. So another solution we have, again, there's just about 5 products. We offer simple solutions to help you get in fruits and vegetables, one of them being growing your own. And so Tower Gardens, this is like me. I have literally, I don't have a green thumb. I just almost killed an aloe plant just this last month and realized it wasn't getting enough sun and all the things. But the Tower Garden makes me really successful growing tomatoes and all the things that are kind of hard to grow. And it is really, really exciting because you're saving water because it's recycled. You're saving space because it's vertical. It's growing more yield than a traditional dirt bed gardening. So, and that was actually proven research-wise at University of Mississippi, compared the Tower Garden aeroponic technology to a soil garden. It grows 3 times faster. That was also shown in the research study done at University of Mississippi, and it's safe and nutritious. So I'll just say on the right there is the Tower Garden Flex, and on the left is the Tower Garden Home. The home is indoors. Flex is outdoor. So this is the Flex. So this on the left was the first conference that I went to. They have 2 a year for Juice Plus Company. And the Tower Gardens exhibit is amazing. It smells so fragrant. You literally smell like all the herbs and just the show towers that they grow for conference is absolutely beautiful. And I just got so excited. I walked in, I was like, I want one of those. I don't know how to garden, but I want one of those. And as a partner, I got a discount. So I was so excited because I'm like, I'm going to grow one. And then that's where it started. This is how it's going. When I was pregnant, I was growing a ton of different things. There's zucchini on the bottom there, kale, herbs, just so much fun. And really, you can't fail. Like, it's very forgiving because it waters itself. So this is my tomatoes. We had literally, this was a crazy, again, trial and error. And we have a whole support group too, but literally that was the Leaning Tower of Tomatoes one year, like with so many, it was intense. And then on the right, this is my friend Lori. She gets really adventurous and it'll grow anything but a root vegetable. And right here, you'll see squash. You know, she has spaghetti squash, all kinds of things, pumpkins she does. She's got like 4 towers. And really, you know, getting people started with their tower, we're learning together, and there's a whole group of support, but it's 5 feet tall. And hopefully when we get, I think we're going to get back to some in-person events this July, and maybe do some tower talk and take. You can take home some salad or, you know, greens for your smoothies, but we just have such a good time with it. And really growing a tower, you can make such a big difference in your family because of course kids are more likely to eat what they grow. So those are all simple changes. Some people want a program and they want to be told what to do. That is what we have our Shred 10 for. And when I think back to on my journey the last 7 years, the Shred 10 really was the program that helped me implement lifestyle changes, because you're drinking at least 2 shakes a day, and really kind of getting in really helpful, wholesome recipes that can become staples. I know for us, a lot of gluten and dairy free recipes we've gotten from these guidebooks, and it's really 10 days for, you know, following 10 guidelines. And so if you're interested in jumping a little bit more into a program, we do this once a month as a community. And I always, each one, it gets like, I can do it, like, no matter, you know, the first one was kind of hard. I'm not gonna lie. It was like, that was a challenge for me, but now we can almost jump into a shred with our eyes closed. John and I love this program, and it's always fun to do it with other people. And so this next slide, I'm almost done. Don't let your eyes gloss over, but I love the education behind this one. So it's not about being skinny. It's about being healthy. Okay, so look at the top right one. We're just gonna, or excuse me, the top portion. We're just gonna look at that for a second. So when you think about stored fat in our body, it enrobes toxins in our body to protect your organs. So when we burn fat through dieting and exercising and probably not proper nutrition, getting in that flooding every day, we may lose the weight, but your organs now are exposed to all those toxins. Okay, so you may either rebound, you know, I don't know if everyone's heard of the yo-yo dieting, you may rebound, or you may get sick and just be really inflamed. So a lot of like fitness bodybuilders are that top middle person. They may be physically fit, but really inflamed. Or that rebound, right? If losing weight is your goal. So if you look at the bottom, something like implementing the Shred 10, those, again, we all start with toxins in our body, that stored fat enrobes those toxins. We shed the fat by cleansing and gently adding in a ton of fruits and vegetables, utilizing the Juice Plus. You're able to shed fat and long-term better have overall health and healing and less inflammation and no rebound. So I love this picture because it's so important when we think about like reducing toxicity, and it's not about being skinny, but being healthy. So as we close here, you know, there's some resources for healthy living from our community. All of this is free. I actually, you know, there's a whole group that you can join to be encouraged with recipes and everything, but literally the company is so gracious and they always put out a ton of free resources. And for tonight, for joining, if you go to healthylivingrevolution.com, you can download our new summertime snacks for kids, and there's a whole snack guide and everything. It's really amazing for a free download there, and really kind of gives you some ideas for your kiddos, but honestly, it can be for adults too. So how much does Juice Plus cost? Really, when it's hard to put a price tag on health. I know for us, when we add in Juice Plus, I stopped taking a lot of over-counter medications. I stopped going to get antibiotics at the local Avicina, and I also was staying out of the fast food lines. Again, not perfect, but when we think about really what we pay, $2.50 a day for our Juice Plus, you're getting in that nutrition every single day and that prevention. And then it's free for kids. If you have one that's 4 years old and older, 4 and under can take Juice Plus. You just buy them a child blend, a child order. The shake, which can replace breakfast on the go or be a staple in your household, it's $2.33 a serving. And then the Omega is $1 per day. So really looking at what we're buying out for drinks and other things, Juice Plus fitting into your grocery budget. We call it Juice Plus groceries. And of course, as a partner, you can also save. And I'll share a little bit more about that. And I think a lot of people in our generation, we want to know what company are we supporting when we go to buy our products. And this is our founder, Jay Martin. He's a former educator, and he is the founder and president of our company, who's still at the helm today. So since 1970, our company is over 50 years old, and the mission has been to inspire healthy living around the world and to build a stable and lasting company that helps as many people as possible realize their dreams. For me, 7 years ago, the dream was to get out of the restaurant on the weekends. And then it became to own my time. And now in the season, it's to be home with my babies, but also still have something that's Kelly's and contribute. And so when I think about all the dreams that are realized in the last 7 years, I am so grateful to Jay Martin, because he really has built a stable and lasting company. People I get to serve today are the same customers I got 7 years ago. And that is so stable and lasting, and really something worth investing in. And so that is the man behind this company. And our core beliefs are longevity, authenticity, quality, and community, simplicity, and approachability. No matter where you're at on your health journey or in your life, Juice Plus company is there to meet you right with open arms. Approachability is very important to us, and simplicity. Every product you heard about tonight is very simple and something a family or an individual can do every single day to make health easier. Because let's face it, like parenting is hard, life is hard, nutrition shouldn't be. And so those are our core beliefs. And the company, it's in over 20 countries. So, I have a cousin in England. If she got started on Juice Plus, I can have an international business, right? Like we are in England, we're over there in Europe. It's really amazing in all the different countries we're in. And the wellness industry, as we've heard from the last year of 2020, really is the place to be. And then we've been over 15 billion in sales since inception, and it's a privately held debt-free company. We also give back in 3 different ways through, we're the Title I sponsor of the St. Jude's Memphis Marathon every year, which is really amazing, that you go to that marathon and there's a huge banner that says Juice Plus right near the starting line for St. Jude's Hospital. It's beautiful. Boys and Girls Club, they are giving a target away to each Boys and Girls Club in North America. And then the bottom one here, Juice Plus also has donated over 10 million complete meals to the shake. Also, there's bars, donated 10 million complete meals through Volunteers of America and Children's Hunger Fund. So as we close tonight, I want to invite you, our next event, that we have a virtual salad prep Sunday that my friend and colleague Christian is leading. And it's literally for 1 hour and you're prepping healthy salads for your week. We also in July are going to do an in-person one, and we plan to get back to Wine and Wellnesses, just really getting back together in person. But I'm so grateful that you took time tonight to join us virtually. It's not the same as like hugging everyone and being together and hearing everyone's stories, because really everyone's got a story when it comes to their health. But just a few options tonight. One, you can be a Juice Plus customer, and we will take great care of you and walk right alongside you, whichever product you decide to add to your family's life. You can become a partner, and right now we actually we have what's called our Summer Blitz, and it's actually free. That $52 a year to be a partner, a brand partner, is waived until August. So you have some time to think about it. But if you think that you want your whole family on it, and you want your mom and dad on it and your siblings, maybe that option's for you. I know that's where I started. I couldn't keep this to myself. It really is a gift of hope that for me and my health in our life has been such a blessing, and you can possibly earn an extra income while helping people in a way that really makes such a big difference by getting in more fruits and veggies. So that's all we have tonight, you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in and taking the time. I know life is so busy, and I'm just grateful for each and every one of y'all's time. And if you have, I didn't see anything in the chat, or I wasn't paying attention. So I'm not sure if there's any questions, but if you have